Good morning, traders. It's Trader Rob. We are live. Today is Wednesday, June 26th, 8 a.m. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the commodities markets. Let's start with oil. Kind of rangy. Had a nice little push overnight. And as of recent, we are in a small little downtrend here. Okay. And then let's take a look at gold. One more time. Good morning, everybody. A lot of bounces off the overnight open. Rangy. Okay. Nothing spectacular on gold or in oil that I currently see. All right, let's take a look at the equities markets here. All right, we're taking a look at the NQ. These are my levels from yesterday that we had that I had marked off and posted into Discord. Let's see here, respected this level. Respected this 15-minute level pretty well. Okay. And then let's jump into the ES. This was the trade setup that I had mapped out from yesterday. We almost came right up to it. Would have been a very nice trade setup, but that would not have activated me. I did have a resting short order here from yesterday. The only reason why I didn't love it was just because at that point I did not have a clear take profit. I was just targeting this 5-minute level, and as you can see, it would have hit, but we actually did not touch into the entry. We were probably about a point, let's call it 2 points away from that trade possibility. All right, so let's delete the levels and we'll kind of start here fresh. Let me make sure that I've got, all right, so I got oil and gold up here. And we'll start with the ES. And I don't think I need to delete this one down here because we never tapped into them. I did not. We did not, I should say, not I. The market. All right, so I like to go into this on the. Of course I like to start off on the 15-minute time frame. Man, that was such a close. That would have been such a great entry right there, and that would have hit my full take profit. All right, so let's take a look at in the 15-minute range. We can see here you've got pretty much 4 down bars. Something in the market here caused price action to then reverse course, kind of make a U-turn. And those are the areas that I am looking to build levels on. Not to trade necessarily, but to build levels on. And as I build levels, then I can begin to have some trading opportunities. So on the 15-minute, again, I like to use the solid blue line. This here would have been a good level, but as you can see, it already was tapped into on the second, on the bar that got the movement up. You can see that it already tapped into this level, tapped into it again here. So I can delete this level as it's not a strong one. Let's see if there's anything else in between. I don't think there was because I didn't map one. Yeah, no, see here we have a U-turn. But a lot of congestion here, a lot of bars, just kind of sitting at the bottom of this U-turn. And I'm looking for more of like a V-style type of U-turn, more indicative of what we mapped out right here. You can see that this looks more of a V than it does a U. So maybe I shouldn't use a U-turn reference, but I think it's what kind of makes the most sense. And I don't believe that there's anything else under here We do get into some levels down here that I've already mapped out from yesterday. So now what I'll do is I will jump into the, oh, let me just see if there's anything above us. So again, you can make a point here. And one of the reasons why I like this level, even though we do, again, kind of a U instead of a V, just because we have a few other bars right next to it. So it's not like a super concise tap move out. But the reason why I do like this is that it really changed. It's really changing the trend here. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave this one here, and then let's just see what else we can find. This was the level from yesterday that I had mapped out right there. Again, strong up, push down, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Here, you kind of have a very similar situation. You can make a case for right here, and you can also make a case for right here for 15-minute levels. Okay. Nothing up here that I like. Wouldn't even be interested in trading this. Those are the highs. Let's see, 3 minutes left. Okay, so I got some time still. All right, so now that we've got our 15 minutes levels mapped out, let's go jump into the 5 minute and see if there's any trading opportunities for the morning. All right, so as we can see on the 5 minute, this 15-minute level intersects exactly where the 5 minute would. So this is a pretty strong level. Let me just indicate that. So this again here, pretty damn strong level. I got a level right here. Put this on the dotted line at 55.36. So I've got 15 minutes at 55.53, 50, and 36. I got another 15-minute level at 55.16. Again, I put these in Discord, so if it's going a little too quick, you'll see them on Discord shortly. All right, I got another level right here. Oops, sorry about that. Right there. Let's see what else I've got. I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look here. A lot of congestion there. I guess you could make a case for one right here. Don't like it the best. Don't like that one the best. Let's see. All right, so now that we've got our 5 minutes and our 15 minutes and our 5 minutes, let me just make sure that there's nothing here in between this gap. I think there is one right here. Yes, there is. That's a nice one. Okay, that might build a trading opportunity. Let's see, let's see, let's see. That's it. Okay. All right, so now that we've mapped them out, now I could kind of take a more zoomed out approach and see what opportunities so here's a good example of one. We've got a, I don't think let me just make sure this, yeah, this is no inside bar. Okay, cool. We got some time now. Sam, good morning. Carm, good morning. Robinson, good morning. Rodney, good morning. John, good morning. Welcome to the futures. I love that one. That's good. All right, so let's see what I'm taking a look at. All right, so here we've got an area where we can possibly get a bounce, but where would our take profit be? I already see a stop loss right here at 55.13. But again, if we were to take a long from this entry and target here, a little bit bigger of a move on the S&P that I would probably be looking to take. This would look something like 20 points and risking 5. I mean, not a bad risk to reward, obviously, but not necessarily the most realistic target yet. But I'm going to keep this one up. Let's just see what happens here at this 55.16 number, which is a 15-minute level, which I like. And then above us, let's see what trading opportunity we can think of here. So it's almost too small. They're almost too close to each other in above us, meaning if I was to take a short from, well, I could take a short, I guess, from here. It's been tapped into it twice, though. Not the greatest. 14, risking about 10. Don't like that scenario that much. And then if I target this level, or if I enter off of the 55.53 level, which was my level actually from yesterday, could probably go down to about 7 points. And then where do I target? I target this 5-minute level at 55.36. I got no other level here. So to me, this here seems like the better setup. The only thing is that if I go from here to here, I do have this 15-minute level right in between. So I'd have to push through here, and then you might get some bounce, some resistance back or some support back at this level. So again, not the cleanest trading opportunities yet, but it's still early in the morning, and hopefully we'll be able to find maybe another level that occurs while price action is happening. So let me, excuse me. Let me post this in Discord really quick. All right, and then let's jump onto the NQ. And by the way, for those on the stream, I will be sharing some updated stats with you guys here in a few minutes. Let's just map out the NQ. All right, levels from yesterday. I haven't deleted them just so that we can see what's kind of been going on. I had trade setup posted here yesterday. I'm going to keep this one here as we never really touched into any of these levels. These were the levels I had mapped out yesterday, and I'm sorry, we would have been right from here. So we respected this number right here. I remember if you guys saw my video from yesterday, I thought a short from this level would be good, but I just didn't have a 15-minute, I didn't have another target profit. I didn't have a take profit level that I felt comfortable with because I said this would be too far down. It would be a very aggressive trade, and sure as shit, it would have hit almost perfectly. So again, very good respection from, I don't even know if that's a word, respection, but pretty good respect on all of the levels that I mapped out yesterday. So let's delete these guys. And let's do some fresh levels here. And let's just see what, I'm gonna leave these right here because we never tapped into those yet. Any trade setup? Let's see, I think we might have something in oil. Okay, so we still got an inside bar setup here in oil session 1, right at the overnight open, so could be a tricky trade. All right, we got 45 seconds. Let me just see if this one, if what happens with this one, and then we'll go back to the NQ. I guess if you guys can comment, in the chat, how many of you are trading have been trading the Rob reversal, the 15-minute Rob reversal, the original strategy? Let me know. All right, looks like we might have a setup here. This is gonna be it. Oh, wrong one. Shit. Missed this one. Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. I got in right at the entry at the exact where I would need to. That's a big trade too. Was this even an inside bar? Let me just see. Low 80.75. Yes, it was. Okay. All right, so we got a max size trade here, 35 ticks. That was awesome. Looking at this chart, and I pressed these buttons right here. So all right, so we're currently in a short on oil, in oil session one. So let's just go over this trade real quick. Um, Obviously you can say you're going with the trend, which again, I'm not a big. How do I say this so that I don't get blasted? But I'm not a huge, follow the trend and that's my only filter. I'm not looking to change trends with these trades. I'm not looking for the trend to even change or to continue. What I'm looking for is very small impulsive movements outside of a very small area of indecision, which is what I have found these inside bars represent very, very well. And in this particular trade, we do have kind of a little bit of an obstacle in front of us, and that is the overnight open. So this is an area where you typically will see really three scenarios. One, you'll get a bounce off of the overnight open, and two, you will get a blast through the overnight open. And then number three is you will get a continuous tap of that area that seems to be either defended or respected. And after a few taps, you'll blast through it, and usually you'll get yourself a pretty nice trade. So, and again, you could say that about almost every single setup. Oh shit, you're right. The stop loss, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. All right, $200. So that makes it a little different. Actually, it's almost worse for me now, but wow, what a mind fart this morning. All right, so we're actually targeting 20 ticks, not max size trade. So not only did I choose the wrong chart, but these are the struggles with live trading. I mean, sometimes I've got 15 different things in my head that I'm trying to convey, and but I'll be honest with you, I actually liked the max size trade here better than I did a 20 tick trade, just because it gives us a little bit more room to mess around with this overnight open before we can hopefully blast through it on the downside. So not giving up hope on it, but obviously not the momentum push that I'm looking for. Morning, Alex. Good morning, Casey. Morning, Sam. Thanks, Rodney. You're the best, man. That would have been a tough one. All right, let's see here what. All right, let's pop over really quick to the end. Oh, strong push there by buyers. So again, perfect retest here of perfect bounce off of this overnight open, and that is one of the three areas that obviously can happen with when tapping into that line. And I guess you could say that about any line, but this is an area that, and again, I don't use it as a confluence or a filter. I just use it as a reference on the chart, but I am very mindful of it. All right, let's jump into the NQ because we've got about 10 minutes to the open. Let's jump to the 15-minute time frame, see if we can get some levels here. So I got one right here, but this one already has been kind of tapped into. If I go into a solid line to represent 15, you can see that this has already been tapped into. So this has weakened up this level here for sure. Let's see if there's anything else fresh. Again, you got another one right here, but what did this next candle right here do? This one right here, you can see tapped right into it. So not the best level. This is just kind of a range. Did break out of this range, out of this area right here. But again, not something I feel super comfortable with. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so I mean, two weaker levels on the 15 minute. So not the best, but I'm just gonna leave them on the chart right now just to see what I see on the 5 minute, and then we can kind of take it from there. We almost had a level right here, but not enough price action after it to see if this is really an area where market wanted to do a U-turn. This would have been a great level right here, but again, this has already been tapped into. Go into the dotted, so I don't need to mess around with that one. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, got a great one right here. So this is exactly, and this is probably the same one on the ES that we were looking at. This right here is like what I would consider to be a premium area level right here. And you can see the V. You can see the downward pressure for one reason or the other. I don't know what it is in the market. I'm not that smart, but I can definitely see a huge U-turn or a V-turn from here. And that this is a level that is really nice. Here's a really nice level that I can see right here on the 5 minute. And above us is my issue. Above us, I don't see, it's like a slope down. Really nothing here that I like. Let me just make sure that there isn't anything above us. Right here, let's take a look. Let's peek into it. Don't like this area right here. I don't like that at all. This is the area that I would have mapped out, but you can see it tapped into it here, tapped into it here, tapped into it here. No good, no bueno. All right, I got a level right here that I really like on the 5 minute. And I can make a case for here, and I can make a case for here. All right. So I got my levels mapped out on the 5 minute and the 15 minute. And what does it show us? It shows us that currently we are in this pretty big gap, or pretty big range between 20,067 and 19,870. Oh. So we got stopped out on our oil trade here, oil session 1. So currently down $210 in oil, or in the morning strategies, I should say. So that sucks. The YouTube live curse continues. I'm joking. All right. So again, really no clear trading opportunities in this range right here, which is where we've been sitting on pretty much all overnight and all morning. Nothing that I see that I like. Now, if we move downwards, we do start to see a lot of levels here that I have already mapped out. So I got a 15-minute level at 19,874. I've got a 5-minute level at 19,846, 19,806. Now you could say, Rob, well, which one do you like? Which one is a trading opportunity? Okay, well, first of all, I like to look at my 15-minute level first. Okay, so I think that those are my stronger levels. So I can make a case for a partial setup where I can get a retracement down to this level right here at 19,874, and then try to target a level at the 5 minute or on the 15 minute. I don't have one. That's the problem here. If I try to target up here, that's a huge trade. It's not something that I'm even entertaining at all. So I don't have anything as of yet, because I could use this as a stop loss here at 19,846. So I have 2/3 of the trade setup is there. I've got the entry and I've got my stop loss that I can use. But again, I don't have a trade setup yet because I don't have a clear take profit. That might change. That could change based on price action at the open, which is in 5 minutes. And, and it's something that, if you're patient and you wait for the perfect setup, again, and I hate to use the word perfect setup, but setup that's got all of your conditions met, that usually has a better chance of winning. Now, what do I like? Well, what about this guy right here? Okay, then let me show you why. We've got a 15-minute level on an entry at 19,739. I got a 15-minute level as a stop loss. So I've got two 15-minute levels that I can use. And I've got a 5-minute target right here at 19,769. And if I want to get aggressive, I've got another level right above me that I can also use as a take profit. This to me is a much better setup that would look something like this. So you can target 29 points and you can, let's bring this out here a little bit to make this more realistic. And let's say right around there. So again, not the best risk to reward. You're risking 25 points to make 29. It's still positive, but you could always target this area. Now that risk to reward looks fantastic. But these are areas where I would feel pretty confident that we're going to get some kind of reaction from the marketplace. Let me just take a look at... All right, nothing in gold yet. Hopefully gold comes in. All right. So this would be a setup here that I could possibly see entertaining. These down here in the middle, those are tough for me because, again, I don't really have a 15-minute level as an entry or a 15-minute level as a stop loss. And at that point, I'm just kind of guessing as to in which of these levels I think that I'm going to get a reaction from. And that's just something that I don't like to do. That's just not my style. Above me, these... you can make a case for this. It's going to be a shitty risk to reward because let's say you get a retracement to here, you target right back here, and you've got a level right here as a stop loss. The issue with this is that you've got another 5-minute level right in between. It's not clean. If this level wasn't here, so I don't want to delete it because then I'm going to lose it. But if this wasn't here, then yeah, I could make a case for this setup. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't have that set up currently. Let me just post this on my Discord. All right. So we will keep looking at these. Let me just jump to the ES. These are the setups here that I kind of laid out. Let's take a look at some questions. Let me check QQQ. My guess is possible 847. Okay. Samuel, it's so interesting that you say levels are weakened when when tapped into multiple times, when most traders say a level is stronger when it has more touches. Well, that's a hard one to say because the way that I look at these levels is that once you tap into 11, and I deleted the ones from yesterday, so I mean it's hard. It's hard to give you a visual representation of it right now, but from what I have seen is that your first touch is going to be your strongest. Your second touch is obviously then it starts to weaken. I'm not saying that it's, then you're getting into a double top or a triple top scenario, even though it could be a mini double or a mini triple. But my feeling is that each time it touches into that same level, there's a reason why something happens at that level. And that reason can't continue to happen repeatedly. It just can't. The market is, especially the NQ, the ES, there's too much volatility for it to just be contained that many times. At least that's my opinion. So I would rather be in on the first attempt or possibly the second attempt where I get to get that initial reaction from where I think that the market is going to give me a movement in one direction or the other. So hopefully that kind of explains that. Question: what's the time frame for gold and oil? Half, and does gold have a second trade window? Okay, so you're talking about, that gives me a good intro to if you, I posted the website here at the top of the chat. Let me see if I can pin this. I don't even, maybe I can't do that. I thought I could pin it. If you guys go to robstrades.com, it's pinned at the top. This is a website that I created where you can go and get any of my indicators or any of my strategies that have been automated for NinjaTrader from awesome members from my Discord. If you click on Get Your Indicator, you will see a video that explains the strategies. You will get the rules and the conditions for the strategy, and you will get instructions on how to install these strategies, like the 15-minute Rob reversal, which has been absolutely killing it. I'm going to give you guys stats here in a few minutes. I got my morning oil strategy, the video on how to trade that, the rules and the conditions, and also there is a strategy in NinjaTrader to trade oil and gold automatically. So I made these all available for you guys for free. But to answer, I think it was Aaron's question or Andrew's question about the time frames. So if you go to the rules and conditions page for the strategy, I have the times that I personally trade the two strategies in oil, which is from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. So just make the adjustment to whatever time frame you're in, or whatever time zone I should say you're in. And then from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time, that would be oil session 2. And then I go into the exact rules and conditions as to what makes me take a trade and what does not make me take a trade. And again, if you want the visual representation of these rules, just click on the video and you'll be able to view the strategy very detailed. And the same thing for gold. So gold is just one session that I currently trade. I know some people in Discord trade it. There's a pre-session gold pre-session that they trade in, and I'll be honest with you, I think that's the only one that I see regularly that some people trade. I only trade it one session from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is what I have back tested, and this is what I have been trading for maybe the last, close to a year. And again, it gives you the exact conditions and rules for the trade. So like for instance, once a trade hits 70% take profit, we reduce our risk in half. Not go to break even, but we reduce our risk in half. Any trade that is 40 ticks and higher, we reduce our take profit and stop loss to 35 ticks. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to take all of the conditions and all of the different scenarios that you might find yourself in, and I've created rules and conditions so you know exactly which trade to take, what your take profit is going to be, what your stop loss is going to be. And what I have found over the last year is that this has really turned me into a completely different trader. I have gone from being a discretionary, absolute savage on days where I would be taking 9-10 trades in the NQ, the ES, and so it took me from that scenario of constantly losing money on a very consistent basis to a much more disciplined trader. I mean, you guys see me. I've been documenting every single day of my trades for about a year now, and you guys see the evolution of the accounts and the trades. There'll be days where I don't take a trade on the levels side. Like I've got two setups here on the ES, but you don't see me with an order to go long here yet. This is just a setup that I see, and I'm waiting currently for an area that I could possibly think that would be a realistic take profit. Then I might get into the trade. So I'm waiting for all of my rules and conditions to be met for me to take this trade. So even though this is not the same mechanical style of trading like my oil and gold, it is I've taken a lot of the things that I have worked on and became better at with my oil and gold, and have kind of transformed that into how I trade the levels trades. So hopefully you guys can pick up on that. All right, let's go into the excuse me. Let's go into the stats here for June. All right, so if we take a look at oil session 1, we are currently, this is just for June, and this is just trading one E-mini contract. We are currently up 103 ticks. So your profit on oil session 1, granted this is without today's trade, so we took a loss here today. So this will adjust. Oil session 1 is up $1,030. Oil session 2 is down 13 ticks, so minus $130. Gold is up 84 ticks, so that's $840. The Rob reversal is just absolutely smashing it this month, and is up 210 points for June, which would equate to $4,200, which would give you a total for June. If again trading one E-mini, obviously across 4 different sessions or strategies. Well, I guess 3 really, because oil, gold, and the Rob reversal, you'd be up $59.40. I posted in Discord in our performance stats. No, I'm sorry, not performance stats. Nikes. Poster success. I did get another funded account through Top Step that was opened up in June, and passed that one just with the Rob reversal here again. So that was nice. So those are the stats. Let me just take a look here. All right, no setup here right now in gold. And remember, we do have some high impact news that is coming up. If we take a look at financial juice, we've got new home sales at 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we got oil inventory at 9:30 this morning. All right, let's see. Let me jump to the 15-minute really quick, because that's another really important thing, guys, to do, is to constantly update your levels on your 5-minute or 15-minute, just to see if any new level has been developed, which obviously it has not. But we will continue to look to see if there is a trading opportunity here. Excuse me. That 35 tick would have worked for oil. Let's take a look. Told you. I knew that I was actually okay with that trade. Yeah, so yeah, that max size 35 ticks would have been great. And the only reason for that, and I don't variate. Obviously, you can see that I make mistakes. I think I made 2 mistakes in the same damn trade. So I am nowhere near to be a perfect trader. But when I originally placed those bracket, or when I originally placed my entry, I have my bracket order set to 35 ticks of stop and 35 ticks of take profit. Because if it's a max size trade, I'm already bracketed perfectly. And then if I'm not, I will just adjust my stop loss down to the top of the source, which I believe was right here. It was. And then from that amount, I will then just adjust my take profit to the same. So when I originally took my short entry off of this inside bar, which was almost a disaster, I had it set to the 35 tick stop loss and take profit. And I said to myself, okay, that's enough room to at least get maybe a few touches onto the overnight open and be able to kind of break through it if that's one of the routes that it wants to go. I was obviously hoping that it would just want to blast through it, but it didn't. And I even mentioned it that, yeah, well, over here we was kind of bouncing around, but it's kind of hanging around there a lot. All right, now I messed up this chart. Let's see, there it is. But that's okay. Another thing that I can tell you with trading that has developed for me is I don't get very emotional anymore with the trades. The mechanical style of trading, there's also one other benefit of that, and that it becomes, I don't want to say less stressful, because I'm typically almost every day trading. The way I have my setup here, I've got the charts that I trade on the strategies. I got them at the top on my top screen, and I trade my cash charts, which are on NinjaTrader, on the bottom screen. Now, the way that this whole live streaming setup happens, it pretty much takes up my whole monitor on the bottom, and then I have all my 4 other monitors on the left hand side, all taken up with either Discord, my TradingView charts. So on days of that I go live, I'm not able to actually trade my cash account, which kind of sucks. I mean, obviously today I would have been down $210, but it doesn't matter. I'm looking at it from a bigger picture. So that's kind of where I was getting at with this when I started rambling. The mechanical style of trades really does start to kind of take out the emotion out of the trade to a certain extent. If you still feel that, like those butterflies, or you still feel super anxious, there's a few different reasons for it. One is, and I would say the biggest reason, is that you're probably trading with too much size. So you have to check your position sizing to a point where you do not get that anxiety or that super nervousness in a trade. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the confidence in the trade setup. Not necessarily, I should say, the strategies, the trade strategy. Once you have confidence in your trade strategy, that will also help you, 1, with position sizing, 2, with that feeling of anxiousness. So the funny thing is that I'm actually looking forward for these trades. Like the days like yesterday, we did not have any trade in oil session 1. I believe actually Monday or Tuesday we had no trade in oil session 1. I'm looking for that trade in oil session 1. I mean, I'm showing you the stats. I mean, I know that it's profitable. So I'm looking to trade that more, not less. Oil session 2 is currently down 13 ticks, $130. So this month has not been as strong as oil session 1. I am looking for my gold trade. Sometimes people, when they do not have confidence in their trade strategy, or they are getting super anxious, it's mainly because they might not have a lot of confidence in their strategy. And the third part is the rules and the conditions. If you follow your rules and your conditions every single day, I guarantee you will become a better trader. Just eliminating revenge trading and over trading will change your stats drastically. You're going to pay a shit ton less of money in commissions, which eats up a lot of these traders that are, putting in 8 to 9 trades per day. That starts to forget about their P&L, but that starts to eat up at that P&L. You could see gross wins maybe up $1,000. Then you go to net after fees and things, and they might have only made $200. So it's it's about eliminating or reducing the over trading, revenge trading that this mechanical style of trading helps you out with. So that's I don't even know where I was, what question I was even answering on that one, but kind of went off the reservation there a little bit. But again, that's what I feel. That's kind of what I built by this whole channel around. You guys don't see me bouncing around strategies really ever. Do I make tweaks to my rules and conditions to these guys right here? Where'd it go? Right here. Do I make tweaks to this? Yes. But are those tweaks ever drastic? Never. They have never, since I traded this day one, and since I've been putting this on, documenting my trades and recording my trades every single day, you have not seen really many variants, a lot of variances in my trade. It's very consistent. And what I like to do is I like to back test on the 30-day level. I've said that many, many times because one, we're trading at commodities markets in gold and oil that are evolving. They evolve every day. We have just been in this market for gold and oil that's been pretty red hot for about almost a year and a half to 2 years, about a year and a half. So a lot of volatility there, a lot of movement, which is good. And I really haven't needed to change much besides maybe a few things. And let's just go over some of the few tweaks that I've made. We've had where we add a 1 tick of offset. You guys remember that little tweak that we did where if I'm getting into an order to go long, right now I just leave my entry right at the top of the wick. Well, we went through a period of maybe 2 or 3 months where we added 1 tick of offset, meaning that the entry was 1 tick above or below your entry. And that was to kind of combat the wick in, getting wicked in and then reversing on you and knocking you out of the trade. Well, we tried that for about a month or 2 months, and I just didn't like what the stats were showing me. And I wanted to continue on with how my original thing. So I just went right back to the original strategy. But that was a 1 tick of offset. So, and then I added this one right here, which is the once a trade hits 70% take profit, we reduce our risk in half. I can tell you right now that that alone has helped the stats and have helped me trade much more better than what it has hurt me. Yes, I had a trade, I believe, on Monday that one hurt, where if I would have kept my take profit, if I wouldn't have touched it, I would have gotten my take profit. Or I think maybe it was actually, it might have been when we were live last week, actually, on Thursday. So again, there's not these big swings one way or the other. I'm not looking to blow up a strategy. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Where if something's not working, and I am starting to see months and months of things not working, who remembers turning off oil session 1? We had oil session 1 off, or at least I did, for, I don't know, maybe 3 months during like that January, February, March. Just wasn't producing well. Now it's been absolutely rock solid. If we take a look at, let's just see. In May, oil session 1 was up 192 ticks, or $1,900 in profit. Oil session 2 up 134 ticks. So I'm not ignorant to the fact that if things are not working, you don't continue to do things that are not working. So I adapt, and I do make small tweaks, but my tweaks are very minor, very, very minor. Let's go back into here. Never really got a tap there. So we'll see here at 9 a.m. when the news comes out. What did I say we had? I think it was U.S. new home sales at 9 a.m. Not necessarily sure that that's going to move the markets drastically, but you never know. And then let's take a look at the NQ. So the NQ is kind of just sitting in this range here, sitting in this gap that I was talking to you guys about. And it's a pretty big gap. I mean, that's 100 points. So we're going to have to see something drastic to get some pretty decent movement out of here. All right, I'm going to refresh my coffee and I will be back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Let's take a look at some questions. At Samuel, I think that the first, second, or third touches are strong, but after the third, I took it for a weaker. Look for a break on the fourth or the fifth touch. Okay. I'm not necessarily looking for breakouts in my levels trades. I'm actually looking for the opposite. I'm looking for a bounce or a rejection or let's just call it a bounce. Lucky Yang, why didn't you take that CL trade or only one trade per session? Perfect. It's a good question. So again, if we go back to, where is it? Right here. If we go back to our oil rules and conditions for the trade, right here, max one trade per session. So I only trade one time per session. Obviously, I know what you're looking at. So you're probably looking at this inside bar right here, which is in oil session 1. And yes, it would be a winner. But that rule and condition is there for, I guess, 2 reasons. The main reason is, again, I am trying to I'm not looking for the quantity of trades. I'm actually looking to reduce my trades, which is actually funny. I mean, most traders necessarily don't say that. I am actually looking for fewer trades and, hopefully can have a profitable day from fewer trades than from more trades. But what I'm looking for is that first piece of indecision that I see in the marketplace in each one of my sessions, which would be that first inside bar. So hopefully that answers that question. And then since I've been kind of rambling with the whole no trade setup today in gold. So again, like another good example, no setup today in gold. So we have no trade, which kind of stinks because, obviously when you go live, you want the excitement. You want the trade. I want the trade because I feel confident in the trade and the trade strategy. And when I don't get it, it's a little frustrating, but no trade in gold. And then I want to go over one thing that I talked about on one of my live streams, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, that I think is pretty important for the people that are just watching my channel for the first time. I've given you guys a lot about how my trading philosophy and how my trading style has changed over the last year. I want to become a profitable trader, become a green trader, cash and evals, funded accounts. Number 2, I want to talk about another important, so we kind of talked about position sizing. We talked about having confidence in your strategy, which is paramount for success. And the third one is, and this is me. This is how I go about trading. You guys, well, majority of the people know that I have a full-time job. I am a broker owner of a RE/MAX real estate office here in Chicago. And that takes up, I don't want to say 80% of my day. It takes up about 60% of my day. Obviously, my kids and my family take up almost my entire day, but they take up a big portion of my day as well. So I'm very actively involved with all of my kids' sports. I coach a lot of their teams, coach their basketball, their volleyball, their softball teams. We're currently in softball travel season right now, so if anybody has any experience in that, it's pretty crazy. So this trading for me is I'm a part-time trader. I like to trade between that 8 and 10 a.m. window. And how I have kind of changed my philosophy, and this is going to go into payouts on how to actually profit from what we're doing here. Because many people think that, you start a YouTube channel and you get subscribers, you get views, you get affiliations with, like, I've got affiliate with Top Step for my prop firm, and that you think that, that's enough revenue. It's not. I've said it many times. I think the analogy that I always use is it doesn't even pay for a Verizon family plan of cell phones in my household, which I have 5 people here, and all of them have their fancy iPhones, and some of them have their Apple Watches. So that's a pretty big bill, but it's not enough to pay the bills off of making these videos. So I figured out that, okay, well, if I'm going to be investing 2 hours of my time every single morning, I need to be able to get something out of that time, because I could be putting those 2 hours into something else that I know is profitable. And I know my real estate business is profitable. So there's got to be something there that's as good or better than what I can do in those 2 hours. So yes, trading is fun. Trading is exciting. Trading is there's a thrill there, and I get that part of it. But I really do look at this as a part-time business for myself. And again, this is just my opinion. I'm not giving any financial advice. That 100%, that's not what I'm trying to do here. But what I have kind of evolved with my payouts is very simple. And originally, when I started to get in the green and I started to see my cash account balances increase, I would typically pay myself on every 2 weeks. So I would look at my P&L for the previous 2 weeks, and then I would typically take out about 50% of my profits so that the account can still build. Obviously, if I had a losing 2 weeks, there wouldn't be any money that would be taken out. And then the next 2 weeks, I would try to get that account back to break even for the 2 week period, or, obviously try to make some profit. And that's kind of how I went about my business. I would say for the last 3 or 4 months, what I have changed is, and this might sound a little crazy, but I've been almost doing payouts to myself on my cash account almost on a daily basis, which is I know it sounds absolutely absurd, but I absolutely love it. And I'll give you a good example. So I post these videos where I say I make $400, I make $300, I make $600, I make $150, I lose $240. Well, what I have started to do is, let's just say I have a day where I make $300 in that day. I will then I will give myself a payout of about $200, or roughly 75% of my winnings for that day. And it's not an exact science, but it's pretty damn close to that ratio. And what I have found with that is that it keeps me super motivated, super engaged in the part-time trading business. And here's the reason why. When I now open up my checking account, let's say my Chase account, and I see constantly deposits being put into that account, you then start to mentally see, okay, that paid for this. I gotta I'm doing dinner tonight. I am paying for whatever it is that comes up on an everyday basis. I am now starting to use some of the trading revenue to pay those smaller bills, but still substantial when you add everything up. And that has been kind of exciting for me. It's been a different philosophy, and it still helps build my account, because that 25% that I leave in for each day's profits will eventually make up for the day that I lose $300, or the day that I lose $500, or the day that I lose $140. And I have noticed that my equity curve in my cash account continues to grow, not as quickly as if I was to keep those funds in there, but I don't necessarily want to trade 2 E-mini contracts. I'm perfectly happy trading 1 E-mini contract. And, eventually maybe my account builds to a point where I'm at $10,000 or $15,000 cash balance, where I then go to 2 E-minis. But I generally stay between the $5,000 and the $7,000 balance on my cash accounts, where I feel very comfortable trading the 1 E-mini. We do have a setup in oil session 2. Again, really close to this overnight open, so might be a very similar trade than what we took for oil session 1. Got about 35 seconds left on this candle. I'll stop talking for a little bit. Let's see what happens here so I can concentrate on the trade. All right, we got 15 seconds here left. Looks like we're probably going to have a setup. All right, so we've bracketed now the inside bar set up here, and we'll let price action determine here now which way we want to go. Now that I got some time here, let me just... All right, let's see what happens here. Oil session 2. Yeah, not much movement right now. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see, does it want to go to the long? Possibly. Want to go to the short? Well, this thing's really just stuck here in this little, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with this taking its time. I'm going to actually, let's do this. Let's do buy chart so that it won't move on me, and sell chart. Okay. Reason I did that was if I use the buy up or the sell down buttons on my indicator, which is my order entry management or order management indicator that I have from Trade Devils, if I just use the buy up and sell down, it's very quick to get into the trade, which I really like. I use it pretty much almost all of the time. But you got, this will just keep bracketing the next candle, so that if this does not enter my trade here and it's another inside bar, which I'm almost hoping for, it would then bracket this new inside bar. So I canceled that trade and just did a buy chart, sell chart, where it'll just it'll take a long and it will stay here regardless of what price action is doing. So just for you, that for some of those that are viewing, probably thinking, what the heck was I doing there? looks like I might go to the short here. Oh. Let me just jump to the, see what's going on here on the NQ. Nice little push. Take a look at the ES. Let's look at the 15-minute. All right, so let me just delete this so this could be a little bit more clear here. I like this. Put this level right here. And I will make this a solid line now at 15-minute. So now I've got a 15-minute level here at 55.22. And now I would have a decent trade setup right here that would look very similar to this with a 5-minute a 5-minute stop loss here, which the trade setup would then look something like this, targeting 6 points and risking about 4. So what is that? 1 to 1.5 first to reward. Actually, I like that. I like that setup there. Oh, I got the wicks down here. We'll see what happens. But I actually like this setup. Now let's do a buy. Let's pop it right there. All right. So I've got that one mapped out. Again, I have a setup here to go short. I don't have an order to go short, but I've got a setup to go short. What I'm looking for, though, still is a realistic take profit area, which I don't have yet. Not saying that I can't hit this one, but to me, not as realistic. So let me just take a screenshot of this guy. And let me post this one in my Discord. All right, what's going on here with oil? All right, 2 inside bar play. As you guys know, I love this setup more than almost any other setup that I have. Let's see, so we're gonna be looking at same exact setup, 21 ticks. So let's put this here, 21 ticks of take profit. We got activated to the short based off of this first green inside bar. It is a double inside bar play. Generally like those trades the best out of all of the setups that I have. So let's just watch this trade and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so I reduced my risk in half on this trade. I think we hit about $150 in take profit, so pretty damn close to 70%. Those brackets, one tick offset, no. So if I wanted to do one tick offset, I've got an option here with this indicator that's kind of built in with from Trade Devils that would give me a excuse me, that would give me a one tick offset. Currently, I have it set to 0. I worked in, I'm assuming, Buffalo Grove, 10 years, Vernon Hills, Mundelein. Actually selling a property in Mundelein right now. Live in AZ. My father-in-law lives in AZ. We travel there a lot. KC. Paying yourself regular is such a smart move. Yeah, it does. It keeps you motivated. So small little retracement here on the CL, which I'm okay with. Let's just hopefully... Why did I say we were going short? I might have said that. It's definitely to the long. Thank you, name unknown. The unknown namer. First time watching. Thanks, Fast Phantom, for watching the channel. Hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully you learn something from it. All right, let's see. Hopefully we can get full take profit. So I guess this is 210. I think that's what we're down for the day. So this would bring us back to break even. Let's take a look at what's these markets doing. Let's go to the 5-minute. Nothing here on the 5-minute that I like. You can almost make a case for this level right here on the 15-minute, but again, this next candle kind of tapped right into it. So much weaker of an area in my opinion. Definitely don't like anything up here. Okay. All right, been almost back down to our entry point on oil session 2. Let's go. Give me a strong push. Give me a winner. Do you have weekly, monthly stats for those automated strategies? Do you have accounts solely running on auto? Okay, so good question. First part of the question is, do I keep the stats? Yes. If you join my Discord, which is free, the link should be in the description of this video or the channel. You will see a channel that I have created that is called Performance Stats. So each month I run the totals for the strategies. And in the current month, which we're in June, I update that every single week. So pretty much on the Friday of every week, I will update it with the month-to-date stats, like the one that I just posted here, which is the current month-to-date for June. These are the stats. And I think the second part of your question was, do you have accounts solely running on auto? The only strategy that I have that I trade on auto is the 15-minute Rob reversal. And the reason for that, even though that the strategy has been coded for NinjaTrader to trade oil, gold automatically as well, I still trade these manually. And there's it's funny to say this, but there's probably a stronger case for trading it automated than it is manually, because obviously you don't run into a lot of human error, like what happened in oil session 1, which you guys just pretty much saw. So you can make a strong case for trading it on the auto strategy through NinjaTrader. But as I've stated many times, I enjoy the act of trading, and I've given myself this, let's call it 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I really start looking at trades from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it does give me that, it fulfills that want or the enjoyment of trading. So that's why I trade these things manually in oil and in gold. Now the 15-minute Rob reversal is different, because if we look at the rules for the 15-minute Rob reversal, which we got up here, the trading times for that is 8:30 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. And most of you know that I'm gone at about 10 a.m. I am off to work. So I don't have that window from 10 a.m. to 1:15. I would miss those Rob reversal trade setups. So the automated strategy for the Rob reversal allows me to keep trading that with obviously not being in front of the screen. So hopefully that answers that question. We need a push here. We need a push. Let's go. Let's break the streak of the losses on the live stream. I know we took a nice 15-minute Rob reversal last Thursday live for $700, which got me pretty damn close to funding that eval that I was trading that one on, and finally was able to fund that account with, was it Monday? Monday that we had our last Rob reversal win? Let's see, the 24th. Yeah, that was Monday. So with that trade, I was able to fund that account. Negative $20 now in this trade. Not a lot of room here left. We got about now about maybe 11 ticks of room left on this based off of that 50% reduction. But we got the momentum. We got the momentum move to the upside, which is what we were looking for. I'm okay with the retracement, but now we need a strong push right back up. And hopefully we get it. Hopefully. All right, as I stated before, I do have a resting buy order on the ES off of my 15-minute level at 55.16. Stop loss level, I'm using 55.13. And my take profit, I'm using the 15-minute level that was freshly created at 55.22. So we'll see here what happens with that one, but that is an order that I have. Got another setup here to go to the short, but again, don't really have a clear take profit yet, so not something that I feel comfortable trading in yet. And on the NQ, I don't see anything really happening here today, but we'll see. All right, now we got oil. We got the report coming out in about 4 minutes, so we're in a bad spot here on this trade, to be honest with you. We're going to get a spike, a pretty drastic spike here in the next 4 minutes. And the reason why I say we're in a bad spot is that we have reduced risk down to 50%, which I'm not going to change. And even though we might get a spike up, typically it can also include a spike down. I don't want to jinx myself, but I know I said this before and I jinxed myself on that day. I have noticed that a majority of the oil inventory days, we do get a spike to the upside, which would be great for this trade. But I said that on the, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago on live, and we got the spike in the opposite direction. So we'll see. Another thing too to be mindful of, I've got $100 of risk right now on the table, and I've got $210 of profit that I'm looking for. Um, Even if we were to get a spike down and we get knocked out, don't be surprised if the loss goes from 100 to 140, 150, $160 just because of slippage in that trade with those spikes. So for me, best case scenario would be to take full take profit here in the next 2.5 minutes. That would be fantastic. But generally speaking, the minute to 2 minutes right before oil inventory report, you just starting to see this like indecision bouncing. So it's about a 50-50 proposition. So the strategy, the win rate, or the confidence in the strategy starts to diminish somewhat because of that oil inventory report. But it's also based on stats is not enough for me to not trade it during oil session 2 during this day. So hopefully that makes sense. We're up about 120 bucks now. If we could just break this little range right here, we'll definitely take profit for sure. I think price action is going to want to go right into this area right here. So we'll see. We'll sit and watch. So hopefully you guys saw that. Perfect example of exactly what I was talking about. We had $100 of risk, and we took about 90 ticks of slippage on that loss. And again, I jinxed myself again. Once again, we obviously took a straight shot to the bottom side. So even reducing my risk here in half helped, but it didn't, obviously did not pan out. So let's just see. I think it will probably get, I think it's going to actually break through this overnight open here. Let's see. So the YouTube live sessions have been terrible for the trading strategies. So maybe that's a strategy in itself. All right, rejection off of the overnight open. Let's see if we get a blast through here or we get the bounce. That sucked. Another retest. And then we should flush right down to this 80-40, right down right about here. And again, everyone, I mean, you're gonna trading the strategy depending on how long you've been trading them. I'm assuming a lot of the people maybe on the chat are maybe newer, that they're looking to for confirmation how we take these trades, or maybe some of you guys have been trading this for a while. But you'll start to really see things become pretty repeatable. At least that's what I have noticed. And I pretty much talked that trade outcome or the possible scenarios. And it's not because I'm a market wizard or I see things that, it's just based on trading these things for so long that you kind of, you can kind of anticipate things. Now, is that a reason for you to not take the trade or to take the trade? Possibly. Possibly for some people that might be. But here's my issue with that. My issue with adding discretion into mechanical style of trades is that it's going to take that one trade where your discretion doesn't work out, where then you start to question everything. And you start to question the filter or the confluence or the indicator or whatever it is, or the time of the session time, maybe the oil inventory report day. You're going to then you start getting that indecision in your head, and that's only going to cloud your trading even more. So that's why I take the approach of not adjusting anything or not deviating from much, or if anything, because I know over the long run, things will generally work out my way, as long as you have a trading strategy that you're comfortable with, you've got position sizing that you're comfortable with. So you have to take those things into account. So my feeling is we're going to probably flush the 40 right about here. That's my feeling. But that's neither here nor there. And that's not what I'm... Let's take a look really quick again on the NQ, the ES. Don't got much. Don't got much there either. So sorry to say, not the greatest live session once again. Down 400 bucks on the eval. Positive side is that I wasn't able to take the didn't take the $400 loss in cash. So that's a win. I know that doesn't help much for strategies in general, but I'm usually on the losing end of those type of deals. All right, so we had no trade in gold. Oil session 1, loser for 24 ticks. Oil session 2 was a loser for, I think it was 10 ticks, was what the strategy stats are going to show. Obviously, we took some slippage on that. I think I took $90 of slippage on there. But again, the stats are still going to show a 10 tick loss for that, just based on the rules and conditions, so I can keep everything transparent and uniform. So the only setup that I am going to be currently looking at, or I should say I'm going to leave, is going to be this. I had another rejection of the 15-minute level. Is going to be this buy order on the ES at 55.16, targeting again 55.22. So it looks like 6 points, risking 4, 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. And that's the only resting order that I'm going to keep as of right now. And then obviously I'll keep the 15-minute Rob reversal running. Let's see. Let's just see if this flushes down to that 80.40. It's a good thing I'm not trading live every day. Oh, man. All right, so what I'll do is I will keep the comments open, or I'll keep the chat open for a few minutes. If anybody has any questions, anything that you could think of, just put it in the chat. Don't be shy. Thank you guys so much for the support. I will be live again next Wednesday. Hopefully we can kind of change the live trading curse here around a little bit. Maybe I'll add the money tree back in on these Wednesdays, and hopefully that can turn things around a little bit, at least just for the Wednesdays. With that being said, I always enjoy the support from all of you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please give me a like on the video today. And again, I'll leave the chat open for any questions. FX Noob, I do not trade Apex. Excuse me. I don't trade with Apex. I trade with Top Step, and I do have an affiliation with them. That's the only prop firm that's the first prop firm that I started with, and I've never really had a reason to ever leave them. I think so far they've been great. Not to say, I mean, I know a lot of people trade with Apex and they really enjoy it. I know they have some flexibilities with the account sizing and how many accounts you could trade at a time. But again, I have never personally traded with them. Yes, you're right. Majority of the YouTubers, especially the livers, they trade 20 Apex accounts at a time, which I can see the plus and minus of that as well. I mean, obviously, if you're profitable with one, you'll be profitable with 20. If you're losing with one, you're going to lose with 20. So, you know, it's all a kind of a give or take, and I guess that's what I have to say about that. All right, everyone. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll have another video. We'll be posting a video over the weekend that I think a lot of you guys will enjoy. And I guess, has to do somewhat with the psychology of trading and some of the steps that I take each and every day to kind of get ready. Obviously, I make mistakes. My oil session 1 was kind of a disaster. Still ended up taking the trade the right way, but you guys could have seen how that could have obviously worked against me as well. So full transparency on the channel. That's at least the one thing that I can tell you that you're always going to get. All right, everyone. Can Top Step trade at this? I think the question is, can Top Step trade on NinjaTrader? Yeah, absolutely. That's actually what we're trading right now. So this account that you see here is a Top Step account. So yes, you can. All right, that's it for me for today. I'll get to go to work a little bit early, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but not the worst thing in the world. All right, guys. See you guys later. I'll leave the chat open for a few minutes.